on chapter 4, lesson 2, and we're talking about enhancing an image and using alternate text. And again, remember that alternate text is something that allows you to give more accessibility to your website. I'm gonna go and look at. Let me see somebody here. Let's see. Fiesel. I only have Croches. So let's see. This was on what page was this on? What that was activities or about us? About us page. His about us page is going to be quite different, I believe. And it doesn't really show that. Let's see here. It doesn't really show. Well, we're going to have to look in the preview on the browser. Let's see what Chrome does. Okay, so you're going to notice that on his image here, there's a very, very thin 1 pixel black border. Okay, so that was actually added. Before, when you actually use the alignment property on the property inspector to align right or left, you didn't have the border. But now Croce already added the 1 pixel border. He also added a spacing in between the image and text. Okay, so that's called vertical or horizontal spacing. Vertical or horizontal. And you're going to see that that's present everywhere. The idea of creating this space, this gapping between the text and the image is readability. Okay, it's called a relief. So if you had the word swimming right against the picture, it may be more difficult for you to read the text. That's why you have that. Well, how do you do that in Dreamweaver? Is, again, everything is in a property inspector. You will select the image, and you'll see that you have this V space and H space. That's for vertical space and horizontal space. The border that you see, and right now you can't because there's the selection anchor around it. And by the way, notice that on the preview on the document window, you actually don't see that border rendered. Okay? You go to the property inspector on the border field, and you put the number of pixels that you want the border thickness to be. One thing that you don't know, I don't know why is it not showing. Yeah, it is. No, it's not showing totally here. Is I don't know why it's not showing. But you're going to notice that there's a gray line on the property inspector. Okay? And mine is actually not showing enough of my property inspector to be able to show you the rest, and it's too hard for me to click and drag. But the property inspector really has two parts to it. There's the top half that you'll see no matter what, unless this thing is collapsed. But this bottom half here doesn't always show. And if you don't see, if you have the picture selected, but you don't see V space, H space, these little buttons for hotspots, and the border and the alignment properties, by default, there's a little triangle on the lower right corner of the property inspector that either points up or down. And you can click on that triangle to hide the second window, the expanded categories, to hide or show it. You know, so that you have to. Sometimes the bottom one does not show, and this is how you actually get it out. The next thing that talks to about on lesson 2 is this. Whoa, what's this? Okay, this added properties that you have right here. Okay, you see Adobe makes Photoshop and all kinds, and Dreamweaver as well, but all kinds of stuff. So their software is supposed to work together with each other, and you're going to see that there's a direct button here in Photoshop, and it shows up only when you have an image selected. If I click on this added button, it takes me straight to Photoshop. Let me see if it starts running. You should see Photoshop and stuff. And you can actually make changes on the fly to the image file in Photoshop, save it and close it there, and the image and the changes directly immediately affect your image on the web page. Okay, so that's very useful when you're actually working in Adobe. You can jump back and forth within one thing to another, and even even on a file, you have this save for web and devices that allows you to, hey, there are settings in here that directly save and customize, optimize this for Dreamweaver use. See, let me pause. Okay, the book actually tells you to click on the gears. Okay, and what do they call the gears? What button was that? Edit Image Settings button. This is not Photoshop, but this does some of the basic functions that Photoshop also does. This is built in Dreamweaver and is a very simple interface for you to actually work on this picture from within without leaving Dreamweaver as an application. What are some things that you can do here is you can change the file format from JPEG to any of the other formats that Dreamweaver supports. One thing that you notice already is that Dreamweaver does not support BMP files, bitmap graphics. Okay, it's always been like that. I don't exactly know why, but any chance you find a BMP graphic and on the internet and you try to bring it into Dreamweaver, it won't work. So we actually have to go somewhere else, like Photoshop, convert it from BMP to something else, GIF, JPEG, or PNGs to be able to use it in Photoshop, in Dreamweaver. So anyways, it also allows you to change the quality of the picture. Okay, at this point is resampled to 79, whatever that is, but you can drop this down and there's a slide ruler that allows you to crank it up to all to 100 or to very low. The book actually also allows you on the bottom here, on the bottom section, you see the cropping button. Okay, you can actually recrop this picture from its original to what you actually want. Let's see here, what else? On the top window as well, it also again gives you an idea of, okay, at this quality, at this size, at a modem dial-up connection, how long will it take this to download? And actually it will be 4 seconds, which is a pretty long time. Let me see here. I think at one point you guys were actually told to change the contrast of the image. But I don't think it is actually here. It's just saying that it allows you to change some settings on this picture here. The contrast, I think, is at a lower lesson. You're going to see you can actually sharpen, change the sharpness of the picture, recrop it, or change contrast, making an image either brighter or lighter, increasing brightness and contrast and stuff. And this is all within Dreamweaver. But that's, I don't think, is on this lesson as well. Let's see here. Okay, and that's it.